Let's see if you're able to answer page 82. Question
All
page.
the above. Oh, wait. I don't know. I have to go back and look. I don't really know
I think it's that. I think this is the order.
That's the order.
Yeah.
I think this is the order.
That's the right order.
Yeah, one
It's
is
in
one,
that
two
order.
is
1,
two.
2, 3, and 4.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like that.
Yeah.
Trick question.
And also page 83, I think we already saw that question. I need to probably remove it from there. What's the benefit of SQL application? It allows session manager to watch calls and apply special rules or features to the call. Finally, associating communication manifestations to SIP users. What you all have been waiting. So now we're going to convert these phones to be AST devices, and they're going to grab all of those wonderful features coming from communication management.
More than 700.
More than 700,
But
which
to
is
use
around 700.
5.
Yeah, everybody uses 5 and 7.
Oh, they don't. They just use your cell phone.
The phone is going to be able to get all that information. Some of that information is going to come from CM, some more information come from System Manager, and it's going to happen through something known as PPM, Personal Profile Manager. You know, where the session manager is just the PPM broker, which means that he doesn't own that information. He just transfers the information, all of that data, to the phone. We're going to see that's not via SIP, but via another protocol in a few minutes. Here we have the 5 events that the phone is going to subscribe to once it registers with Session Manager. The most important event is the Avaya CM feature status. That's how CM will know if the features are on or off for the SIP user. Dialog allows the phone to go on hook or off hook, you know, to display that he's off hook or on hook. Message summary allows the SIP phone to light up the MWI, the message waiting indicator, when it receives a voicemail. CCS profile is an event related to PPM, and registration is an event related to the phone registering. But you want to see the phone being subscribed to those 5 events every time you have an Avaya phone set up as an AST device. Again, the most important one is the Avaya CM feature status. If it doesn't subscribe to that event, it doesn't even try to subscribe to the other 4. How you add CM to the picture, you know, and how you add CM so that the phone gets features from CM. Here's the lab. Let me do it first. Maybe I can point out some stuff that could be useful. I'm going to do it in lab 1. That's where I have my user. I'm going to go to user management. Manage users. I have now all my user all messed up, right? Let's just do some cleaning. Actually, that was it. And then, first thing you want to do is assign the sequence to the user, the sequence that you just built. Here is sequence with CM. If I do it under origination, what I'm saying is that I want CM to be invoked every time this user places a call. But I should do it as the termination as well, because I want the sequence to be invoked every time the user receives a call. Okay, so that's why you end up doing it under both origination and termination. And notice that there is a new section that you didn't have before. This is because you added CM as a managed element. You add it to the inventory. So if I go to the CM endpoint profile, I'm able to specify that this is the CM that I want to associate with this user. I could have up to 500 CMs, you know, so I'm specifying the one. The type is endpoint, could be an agent as well. We're going to go with endpoint, and this parameter is quite important. By default, it's unchecked. It says use existing endpoints and is unchecked, which means that this new station in CM, that this CM station is not created yet in CM. That's what I'm saying by leaving that unchecked. So what I'm saying is that it's not an existing station in CM, and I want System Manager to create it. If I were to put a check mark here, I would be saying that I want to associate the SIP extension with an existing CM station. You would probably do it in two cases. One, maybe because you already had stations on SIP stations built on CM as OPS entry, maybe because you had an old SES, or maybe because you're trying to convert your H223 phones to SIP phones, so you already have an H223 phone station created in CM. That would be another case. But if this is a complete new user, you know, and the user doesn't have a CM station associated to CM, you want to leave it unchecked. Then you need to specify the extension number. You want to go with the same extension number you have here in Session Manager. You could go with another extension number, but then things are going to get messy. System will allow you to do it. Like for example, if I leave this 1000 here, I would be extension 1203 in Session Manager. That would be my extension number, but I would get the call appearances from CM of extension 1000. So it's going to be messy. You want to go there with 1203. Right? Now,
What if you would have had the existing extension? Use existing endpoint checked and.
if I have it like that, then right away it'll tell me, system will tell me all of the existing stations that I have, and it'll give me a way to associate with that one. You see, right now it tells me, hey, the only existing station on CM right now is 1401 in this lab.
Oh, all right, cool.
You see?
That's nice.
It right away tells you, hey, this is an existing station. Notice that if I don't select it, it tells me, hey, available, you have from 1000 to 14,000.
The next available one.
Right? Yeah. And if I go with maybe 14, it'll tell me, hey, from 1402 to 1999. You see, it gives me the ranges of available extensions on CN. Extension numbers that haven't been used so far. So I'm gonna go with 1203, and then if I have a template, I could use the template here. And a template would be a template with feature buttons assigned with maybe a cause, score, whatever. If you don't have a template at this point, you still need to decide. You still need to say that this is a 9611. That's the type of the phone. 9611 SIP. Because you want System Manager to go to CM and create this station as a 9611 SIP phone. It says default because it's just a template with no feature buttons, with everything set to cos 1, core 1. But if you had a template, you could use your template there.
SIP-CC is contact center?
Yeah, good question. SIP-CC is a new option that Avaya added so that these phones are able to support contact center feature buttons like auto login, auxiliary, all that stuff. If you configure it as just SIP without the CC, these phones are not going to be able to have those contact center buttons.
The Q calls button.
Huh?
Like a Q calls
Like
button.
a Q calls button, like
So
an
that's
auxiliary.
live update. How's that playing? Because I mean, the Q calls changes. My phone's just sitting there, but there's calls in queue. So communication manager knows about that.
It sends a notify to the phone because the phone subscribe to the CM features status. So
Wow.
everything that happens in CM needs to be notified to the phone, and you'll trace it and you'll see a notify message going to the phone because the phone subscribed at the beginning to all of those events.
So all of us are in the hunt group, and as soon as the call goes
Boom, you'll see a
queue,
notification.
you'll see
Yeah,
8, however many phones there are here, notifies that go out.
yeah. You'll see notifications going to all of the phones that subscribe to changes, in those events.
Wow. That's a lot of chatter.
I'm gonna use this SIP default. Again, I could use one that has buttons. If I use one with no buttons, I would need to go to the endpoint editor. If I want to assign buttons to the phone as I create the phone, I mean, the better approach would be to have a template with all those buttons assigned, but I could press on endpoint editor, and now I could assign a core, a cause, and if I go to button assignment, let's assign maybe 2 buttons here to that phone so that I get to see feature buttons. I don't know, EC500 could be one of them. Maybe a call forward. Okay. I'm just assigning those on the go. You know, I could have a default, a template saved with all that information. How you would create a template? By the way, before I commit here, you will go to templates, CM endpoint. This is CM7, right? CM7. I want to create a new template. I could call this template business. Oh, I just call this Nestor template. And give it a set type. Okay, so this is going to be for 96 zip, 9611 zip. And I start specifying that I want this template to be with this code, with this clause, blah, 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 right? With this zip trunk, which is gonna be set to AAR, tenant number, class of service. I could specify some buttons here right away. You know, save some feature buttons here for the template. Let's say that the first button is gonna be a call appearance, the second one a call appearance. Normally we have 3 call appearances, right? Maybe the other one is a call, whatever, send all calls. Send all calls, and what else? Maybe EC500, whatever. Commit, and I have that template, so I can use that template later when I define my phone. When I define my user here. However, I have to probably cancel what I was doing. Let me see if it refreshes, but I don't think so.
No, I don't see it yet on the new one.
You don't see it in yours? Yeah, I'll probably have to cancel and start all over again. I don't want to do that right now. But if you do have a template, you'll see it at the very top as your own template.
I see it.
You see it now?
Yeah, the top.
Okay. But this is it. Notice that the zip trunk by default is set to AAR. That means that this zip phone, right? I mean, it's gonna communicate with CM to grab features, and CM is gonna send the information about those features via a zip trunk that's gonna be allocated by using the AAR tables. The AR table is gonna point to a route pattern, and the route pattern will point to a zip trunk or a group of zip trunks if you have more than one. So this is how things worked in 6.3. The only option you had was do it to an AAR entry. In 7, well, I'm gonna say it like this, but I'm gonna tell you that in 7 there is a new feature that allows you to point it directly to a route pattern. Because Avaya customers were complaining because they were like, hey, why AAR? I'm using my AAR tables for some other stuff. And now you want me to add entries in the AAR table to communicate, to communicate with the zip phones only to give them features. I don't like that. They didn't like the fact that they had to use the AAR tables. So Avaya in this release said, okay, you're gonna be able to point directly to a route pattern. And I'm gonna place, I'm just gonna go as if this was just 6.3, where AAR was the only option. And now that I click on commit, you probably notice that it took some time because System Manager went to CM and created that station for me. If I go to CM, either directly or with ASA or by using here Communication Manager, maybe the element cut through, why not, since we have it now. You'll see that System Manager created the station in CM. I'm gonna do a list station, and I see my station now in CM, right, as 9611 zip. And if I do a list of PBX telephone station to see the OPS entries in CM, you'll also see that CM created an entry here saying, hey, extension 1203, which is mine, is an OPS entry, off-premise station, and that's a station that's not really in CM. It's managed by someone else. This is the extension number, and it tells the entry says that it'll use AAR to communicate with that place where the station actually resides, where the phone actually resides. And set to AAR because I said that I will use AAR tables for that purpose. Did you guys create something with 1000?
I did.
Okay.
I left the name out.
Okay. Okay, cool. Now that I have my
No,
phone, let's see. If I visualize the dial pad, let's actually log out. I shouldn't have to log out and log in. If I'm patient enough, I should wait for the next subscription, for CM to notify things, and I should see the phone converting to now being an AST device. But if you wanna, what's going on here? I know. I'm still at abc.com, and should go to 5061 if that's the case. Let's see. It's taking too long.
Where did you say you went? Did you say 5061?
5061
That's the port.
TLS.
You have to change the TLS port.
There's
So you got- remember ABC,
something
put on
strange.
5062.
Yeah, there's something going on. It's not. I mean, the fact that I see this, there's some sort of problem here, and the problem is that there's still some configuration missing. You're gonna see. Well, that could be it too.
Yeah.
That could be it. But I'm still missing something. You're gonna see that the lab is not only about adding the sequence and adding the CM station, but it's gonna make you go through the element cut through and configure some buttons. I don't care about that right now, but it's gonna make you go to the element cut through and add the private numbering, configure the private numbering table in CM. So it did register with session man eventually. That's right.
Private number couldn't stop it from registering.
Huh?
Private numbering couldn't stop it from registering.
Yeah, well, it stopped it from getting the sequence.
It
Because
stopped
the
it from-
feature sequence doesn't know how to talk back to the SM.
Yeah, so I was able to register with session manager, but still don't have any feature buttons or any communication with that CM. If later when you change that private numbering, you're gonna see that now the phone is gonna be able to communicate with CM, and CM is gonna be able to communicate back with the phone, and things should work. Give it a try. Let me know when it's configured, and then I should probably get to see feature buttons in my 1X communicator. So the exercise starts in page 88.
The last part of the exercise, I think we already have done. I don't know why this AAR.
You're absolutely right. Yeah, you're absolutely right. The one who did it forgot about the fact you don't need to go to the AR table anymore because this was done and it's already set to unknown. Yeah. So yeah, page 95, which is where it tells you to go back to AR. That's already done.
I hung up, sorry.
Users.
I didn't have to log in, log off my phone either for the features.
Yeah, they showed up, right? Yeah. You just need to wait for. I mean, when the phone
Wasn't very long.
when the phone subscribes to notifications, well, you just need to wait for the next notify to happen, and in the next notify, the phone is updated.
I noticed y'all had normal rental cars. Why didn't you rent U-Hauls to help with the move? What's the matter, folks?
We didn't get the
Y'all
memo.
could have been on the team.
Yeah,
We didn't get the memo.
And
And
communication failure.
That's it. That was a 600 error. It's global failure. Mm-hmm. Always the same.
You need to reboot the phone?
no, you could wait, but if you are,
I did it.
if you don't have patience, just like me, you just log out and log in.
Oh, no, okay.
Yeah, go ahead. Log out.
You wanna try logging out? Your software?
Let's see. Ah, actually, look, I already got them.
There you go. It was the private number.
It was the private number in the table. What was missing?
I don't see my.
And by the way, that's not having the private number in table configured in CM is one of the most common reasons on why you don't get to see feature buttons and why you don't get to see the phones registered as AST devices. So in the private number table, you want to assign the extension number range that you assign it to your SIP phones. That's what you want to do.
Right. Makes sense.
I don't see my buttons.
You don't see your buttons. However, I mean,
The exclamation
it's
point.
gone, and yeah, you don't see the buttons. Let me see. Do you really have buttons on 1204? Change or display
Not even there
station
yet. I'm going slow.
1204.
I got
Button assignment.
I don't see buttons actually. So maybe did you go to the endpoint editor and you click on done there, came back? Huh, that's strange. Because I don't see them in CM.
In that little glass world that Denise talked about, that beautiful wall, the help desk, where it was like a separate thing, like.
You created them through the element hot root, or you went directly?
No, I did them through
Endpoint editor.
endpoint header, correct.
Yeah, that's strange. Go back there and see what's going on, because I don't see them in CM.
Yeah. You might find them.
User updated successfully. Hit commit.
That light wasn't on.
Maybe I didn't hit commit. I hit done, but I didn't hit commit.
Ah, okay.
Oh, that would do it.
What's that?
Unless I don't have to.
No, you do. Cancel that and go back there.
My password.